Good morning. Thank you. This is my 12th time getting in front of you to share the State of the Association. And each time that I do, I have such a great story to tell, and it's going to be a great story again. So we have been on a roll for the past 12 years. And as Richard said, this is all about community. The reason we're on a roll is we thrive as a community together and all these sub-communities that we have. So thank you on behalf of the CMA team, as well as the board of directors, for making CMA what it is. So let's get into the State of the Association. Let's talk about membership. We're on a roll. We have grown 7% this past year and are approaching almost 9,000 members. That is amazing. Absolutely amazing. And the community that helps us do that are our chapters. So chapter leaders, chapter managing directors, thank you. You are our recruiting arm as an organization. When we look at all, and I'm going to pull some data from the annual report, and you'll be able to go back and look at this. What I find sort of cool is if you look at the LinkedIn connections, while we're almost at 9,000 members, we have 24,000 people following us on LinkedIn. So there's a lot of interest in club management and interest in following what CMA is talking about. I think that's pretty awesome. Moving into financial results, again, a great story, but I want to start with 2 points, and this is a graph, and you can go back in the annual report and look at it. But first, from a revenue standpoint, we are very healthy as an organization. When I came into association management some 40 plus years ago, most associations were completely reliant on dues. And as we have evolved in the association world, we have been able to diversify our revenues. And if you look at CMA's revenues, 30% come from dues and all the rest of the revenues come from elsewhere, which makes us a very healthy organization and resilient in times like COVID where we have to pivot. The other thing that I think is important is understanding professional development. If you look at that chart, you'll see it adds about 19% from a revenue standpoint. And on the expense side, it's 19%. Our professional development efforts, our CCM, our BMIs, all of that is revenue neutral, and it's designed purposefully to be that way. Our revenues come from other areas. We have had 11 plus years of positive financial results. In 2014, our net equity was negative 3.1 million. We had a hole we had to dig out of. And thanks to the leadership of the boards, the committees, we have dug out of that. And I'm pleased to say we are now at plus 3 million net equity. It's a huge change over the past 10 years. And it's truly from all of you as that community that has helped give that CMA our energy in our programs and our member experience and ultimately helping in our bottom line. Programs and events, we have a heck of a lot of programs and events, some 4,000 plus attendees, many of you duplicate, attended CMA events through the year. When we look at some of those, from LLC to mid-management to governance and leadership, to wine and food, to membership marketing, some virtual, some in person. We are continually growing to serve the needs of your professionals in your club to ensure that they have the professional development and education that they need. We have grown our communities. We have 4 communities, which are subscriber-based, so you as a CMA member can join any of these communities. But we offer these communities at a very small amount for any of your professionals who may not be CMA members to join. They can join as subscribers. And each one has an event. So there's communications, there's a chef, there's human resources, and there's club wellness community. We look to continue to grow these over the coming years. Certification, the core of what we do as an organization. So 115 folks we're going to recognize. Not all of them are here, but we're going to recognize very shortly. Certification is strong. And a couple things with certification that I want to share that are new, but first let's look at the amount of BMIs that have occurred. In the United States, so in total, BMIs there were 51. The US did 21 of them. So our international partners, that international community, that global community, actually did more BMIs together than us in the United States. So I thank, and I know a lot of folks from outside the United States are here. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for being part of the CMA community from afar. Now you're part of the CMA community up close, but we appreciate your participation in our BMIs and the certification, because that is the global certification now for club management. As we move forward, next month we're going to release the book, which is about 75% complete and updating, and it will no longer be in hard copy offered through us. It'll be electronic through a platform that universities use called Top Hat. And in Top Hat, once you purchase a subscription to Top Hat and the book, which is about $85, you get access for life for that. So what it allows us to do is to update that book on a regular basis. And as I mentioned, we've updated 75% of the book. The rest will be completed this year. So if you're an author, an editor, have been involved in that community of updating the book, thank you, because it truly has been an effort of many to get this book updated. The book has AI built in, so it can do questions for you. It can do a lot of things that we will continue to evolve. But what I think is most important is as chapters become old, we can replace just a chapter in the book. And as we know, if you look at the current contemporary club management, there's some really old chapters in there. Technology comes to mind. I think it talks about the abacus. So we're excited by this change. The other thing that is hot off the press that the board approved yesterday and has been a journey for about a year and a half is a new CCE requirement. This new CCE requirement will go into effect in 2030. So everybody who wants to get your CCE before it expires has the next 5 years to do that. But you as members told us what you wanted. We have 2 new BMIs coming out. One BMI is on financial literacy, and that will be coming out very shortly. The other BMI is on executive leadership skills. There's a whole bunch of those that are in that, and actually if you listen to my video blog next month, you'll hear more of what some of the components of those are. Capital Improvement Summit, some of you have attended that already. That is a program that exists, but we feel that is critical for the CCE. Some virtual learning courses that will be launching closer to 2030, and ultimately there will be a comprehensive assessment. We have not yet decided what that assessment will look like. I can tell you it will not be as painful as the CCM exam. So those of you that have an interest can pursue the CCE, and then ultimately January 1st, 2030, these new requirements will go into effect. And now that this has been approved by the board, you'll hear lots more information on this. Mid-managers are key to the association. This community we have really focused on post-COVID, and it started with a task force headed by Casey Newman, and others were involved. That sub-community pushed this forward, and now we have an online group, and we do master classes quarterly. It's an important constituency or community within CMAA. Our board brief, which was launched in 2019, we did a refresh of that the beginning of this year. And you can now, that comes via email as a PDF. You can take it and pass it to your board. And it's a mix of articles and data and other information that we feel is relevant. Our faculty, students, and universities has been a big focus area. Ironically, I think Richard gave a lot of statistics on new members here and all other things. Our students are actually 30 to 35% higher this year than in past conferences, so pretty awesome. Faculty Development and Immersion Program, we redid this past year and launched it. Thanks to the gifts of the Club Foundation, we are funding a certain number of faculty to attend student conference as well as this conference, and get immersed more in and more connected into clubs, both locally and at the national level. And we hope we expect that to pay dividends going forward. Collaboration. One of the things that has been part of our strategic plan is working more closely with NCA. NCA invited us to participate in the private club governance book, which is now in the 2nd edition. And we had some extra office space, and their office space came due, and they were actually about 2 blocks away from us. It seems silly to have us have extra space and them be a couple blocks away, so they moved to our 3rd floor, and we're happy to have them. Now here's my first ask for you. There's a QR code there, and in the private club governance book, we are now at the process of collecting governance samples. So if you have governance samples that you are willing to share, please use that QR code, or you can find some information on our website, and we would love your governance samples. Please, please, please. Well, while I'm on and while I'm pivoting here to the foundation, I want to share that as you look at this graph, you can see that the foundation's scholarships have grown thanks to several of you, the Delosiers, the Dormans, others. We've had new funding sources and new scholarships. The number of applications have grown as well. And so the foundation continues to help more and more and more people. When we look at the foundation, and this is actually in the annual report, that diagram on the right, I realize you can't read it, and that's okay, but what you can see is that's all the various things that the foundation gives money to, whether it's our students, whether it's our chapters, whether it's scholarships. And so the Club Foundation really does a lot to help, and you can see the impact there of the various scholarships. Key to our foundation, we just recognize our partners, and I want to thank our partners, another community, for their contributions to the Club Foundation, so that you understand the money that comes in sponsorship from our partners. Once we allocate costs of what they get for their partnership, we take that balance, divide it by 2, CMAA keeps half, and the other goes to the Club Foundation. So this is key to helping the Club Foundation and having our partners be part of this community and help all of you through the Club Foundation. So thank you, partners. Some new things coming in 2026. By BMI Financial Literacy, as I mentioned, from the CCE, we're ready to go with that. We're going to do a golf technology symposium, and BMI International or Global will be in Italy this year, and registration will open in the next, probably by the end of the month, next month at the latest. Jason Koenigsfeld just went and did a walkthrough of the program. We're collecting the costs and coming up with a budget for that, and then we'll launch that. It's going to be limited to 100 people. 100 people. See, I'm so excited about it. My voice is squeaking. It's going to be limited to 100 people, and it's around Columbus Day in October. You can actually get the dates off the website, but you'll be allowed to register for that, and I expect it to go very quickly in the next few weeks. Strategic plan. Last time we did a strategic plan was in 2024, and that brings us through into 2027. We are now starting the journey of a new strategic plan. And where we are starting that is with a member needs analysis. Our membership has changed dramatically. The last time we did a comprehensive member needs analysis was in 2016 approximately. And we hired a company, Marketing General, to do that. That helped us as we did our name change and other things. The goal was to do one around COVID time, but COVID turned everything topsy-turvy, so we're getting back in sync. It has 2 pieces, a qualitative piece, so those of you that have already participated in that qualitative piece online through software to help create mini focus groups, thank you for being part of that community. The quantitative piece will be pushed out to everybody over the next few months. The goal is to have that data so we can talk about it at our board meeting in July and then use that data and information of what you are telling us to build a new strategic plan through 27 and have it approved and ready to go for 28. Our CMA anniversary, as hopefully all of you know, starts this September at LLC in Detroit. Why Detroit? Because we are a Michigan nonprofit, and we'll go through conference in 2028 with our big celebration in 2027 at World Conference. Here's my second ask. We have a project called 100 Voices, and we want to collect your thoughts on CMA, past, present, and future, so that we can start using that as we prepare for our centennial. So all around conference, they're going to be moving around. We're going to have spots where you or a couple of you or several of you can be videotaped with a simple question that will be asked of you. And if you don't want to be videotaped, we also have all these cards that are going to be around, so you can answer in writing versus verbally. But the goal is to get 100 people to provide your voice. Well, I think 100 is sort of laughable with all of you. My challenge to you is let's make it 1,000. So let's do it, increase it by a magnitude. This is critical and important because we want your voice shared as we go into the centennial and give us that. If in the app you want to find one of these locations, all you need to do is go into sessions, type 100 in the search area, and it'll give you all the locations. You'll be seeing more of those as well as we push that out. As I near my conclusion, the annual report's online, the audit is online. Feel free to look at it if you have questions. Feel free to ask, or we will also have an open space session in the South Foyer in the hotel at 4 o'clock today, where Janine and Richard and I will be there to answer any questions. So, on behalf of the staff and the National Board, thank you as a community for all you do to help propel CMA forward, and we're not going to stop. We have a lot to do as an organization. So with that, I am going to turn it over to Tom Delosier as he recognizes our fellows. Tom, thank you all.